All right, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Welcome to the self-registration workshop or demonstration. I'm joined tonight by the Office of the Registrar, my friends Kristen Ball, Erica Jackson, Brian Moyer, and my name is Andrea Vest. I work in the Academic Advising Resource Center. We wanted to talk a little bit about where we've been in registration. We started the summer in phase 1, pre-registration. Your preference plans were due at the end of June. This process was completed July 22nd. So if you'd like to see what courses you were pre-registered for, you can do so by logging into your BannerWeb and checking your student profile or grad tracker. So tonight we actually get to focus on phase 2 and self-registration because that is going to look and feel a little different than pre-registration. Self-registration officially opens August 7th at 9 o'clock Eastern time. If you don't have priority registration, you only have half of your fall schedule right now. So self-registration allows you to register for your remaining units. Our goal for this fall is a total of 4 to 4.5 units, and that should include 1 unit of first-year seminar, that's your FYS 100, 3 to 3.5 other units of whatever you would like to take. So these are your choice, unless, of course, you're in an Endeavor course that has a required course that would be included. And then you need to make sure that you've got a 0-unit Well 100 class on your fall schedule. Our demonstration tonight will include how to create a plan for registration, how to use the registration system, and how to make changes to your schedule. I will turn it over now to Kristen Ball, who will take us through our demonstration, and then we will come back together. Please use the Q&A for any questions that you might have, and we'll moderate those as we go.
Great. Thank you, Andrea, and welcome everybody. I'm glad you're joining us tonight to learn a little bit more about registration that, as Andrea said, opens up on August 7th at 9 a.m. So tonight I'm going to kind of walk you through BannerWeb and the BannerWeb registration. Many of you have seen this. Hopefully all of you have seen this before when you were making your plans, but we're going to kind of go through it again and show you what you need to know. So you should all be familiar with logging into BannerWeb and the landing screen that you get to. When you get here for registration, you're going to want to go to Student Services. Now, I want to show you the student profile here briefly that Ms. Vest mentioned, and then before we go into registration. On your student profile menu, if you haven't already seen this, here is where you can see your schedule so far. As long as you pick Fall 24 in the top, you can see what you have been registered for. And your advisor information once that's assigned, and other information about your time here. You can access your schedule by clicking on the student schedule. You can access grades once grades come out. You can also get to Grad Tracker, which is our degree audit system. In Grad Tracker, you can see what the requirements are for the degree and the web of inquiry, which is akin to a general education requirement. We have 3 areas in the area of the web of inquiry: your areas of inquiry, your engagements, and your integrated focus areas. And once you've declared a major, this is also where you will come to see what your major and minor requirements are and how they have been filled. So all this is accessible through the student profile. You can also get to registration through the profile, but we're going to talk about getting to registration through the main menu. So when I'm on the student menu and I click registration, I want to just click the student registration menu, just ignore the things below that. And again, click student registration, and you come to this page, which should be familiar because here's where you made the plans from. I'm going to show you how to make plans again, just real quickly. I know most of you are familiar with this, and then we'll go through the registration. So when you go to register for self-registration next week, it's a good idea to have a plan to start with, but then there are other ways to register too. On Plan Ahead, you have to pick your term. And when you go here, you will probably see still your FYS plan and your fall plan that you made earlier. You can edit those plans. You can create a third plan if you would like, or you can delete the plans to start over. I'm just going to edit a plan, even though neither of my plans have classes, but if they did, I could delete them. I could delete the plan. But when you go in to edit the plan, here is where you start searching for the classes that you want to add. You can search by subject. Say I want to take American Studies. Now, when you come into the search, remember that it's showing you all classes that are in the catalog, not just the ones being offered for the fall. So you're going to want to click on View Sections to see if your class is being offered for the fall. And if so, and say that I find one I want to take, I can add it to my plan by just clicking Add. I want to find some other classes because, as Ms. Vest said, we're going to be looking for a schedule of 4 to 4.5 units for the fall semester. And generally, one class is 1 unit. There are some 2-unit classes and some half-unit classes, but generally, one class is 1 unit. Say I want to take one of my Web of Inquiry requirements as well, but I'm not sure which classes fulfill the Web of Inquiry requirements. I can do an advanced search. I haven't picked a subject. I don't need to pick a subject, and come to the attribute field here. Now, all of the area of inquiry attributes start with AI. So you can, if you type AI, it will just bring everything up. Say I want to take my historical inquiry. I can just click on that and do a search, and it brings up all of the classes that meet the area of inquiry historical studies requirement. Now, again, this is every class that is in the catalog that meets the requirement, not just the ones being offered in the fall. So I'm going to click on View Sections to see which sections are being offered. I like the look of this art history for my historical inquiry, so I'm going to add that to my plan as well. Now, at this point, I have a plan and registration that would be 4 units. And you can only register for up to 4.5 units during this pre-registration period. So I'm happy with this as one of my plans. So I'm just going to click Save Plan down here in the bottom right corner. And now it shows me my planned classes. And you can see on the schedule detail on the left what is planned versus what is registered. So I can kind of see how my plan comes together. So if I'm happy with that, that's great. I go back to registration and I look at Plan Ahead. And I can see that my fall plan has 2 classes on it. Again, I could make another plan if I wanted to, but for purposes of the demonstration, I'm just going to have the 1 class or 1 plan with a couple of classes on it. Okay, just a reminder, in your pre-registration period, you were asked to put 20 classes on each of your plans. You do not want to do that for self-registration because you are only looking to get 2 classes. And if you put 20, it's going to take longer to cycle through and do all the checking, and it's going to put you a little behind. So you just want to put 2, maybe 3. If you put 3, something that would get you more than 4.5 units, the system will just pick 2 classes, the first 2 classes it can get for you, if it can get those 2. So do not load these up with 20 classes like you did originally. Also, you do not need to rank your classes for this part of registration because the system will not look at the rankings for this part of registration. So you don't need to do the little sticky notes like you did before.
Kristen,
Yes.
can I interrupt? Can we make sure we put a well 100 on this plan?
Yes, we can. Thank you, Andrea. So I'm going to go in and edit my plan. And for subject, you can type either the subject as it is written out, or like if I was searching FYS, I could type FYS and it comes up with first year seminar. But I know my wellness starts with well. So, and I know I'm only looking for 100. Normally, I suggest leaving the course number blank so it brings everything up, but I'm looking specifically for a well 100, and there are other numbers. So if I click View Sections, I can see all the sections of Well 100 that are being offered, and there's about 35 sections kind of spread across the day and across the days of the week. It only meets one day a week for 75 minutes, so you can just kind of pick one that fits with your schedule. And again, you can just scroll through. I have it limited to 10 per page. And it tells me how many seats are remaining, so I can tell if it's full or not. This one has 25 seats remaining. I'm going to plan this one, add it to my schedule, my plan. And now it is also in as planned. Okay. So if I go back to my plans, I can see that I have 3 classes on this plan. Again, the wellness is a 0-unit class, but you do have to take it first semester of your first year. Okay, so I have a plan from which I can register when my registration time comes around. When I'm looking for classes, I can also browse for classes. You can't register from browse, but I can look up classes and see what's being offered. So I can just get a sense of what requirements a class might meet, what days and times it meets. If I click on the title, and you can do this on any of the search, the ways that we've been searching here. If I click on the title, I can see additional information about the class, including the course description and any special text that might come with the course description. So if it's limited to certain populations, or for FYSs, the description, or if it has a lab that you have to take with it or something like that, that would be on the course description. I can see restrictions. So if it's limited to seniors, it would say that here. If it's limited to certain majors, it would have that information here as well. I can also see if it's cross-listed. So some of our classes might be offered under 2 different subject codes, and there might not be seats in one subject code, but there could be in the other. So you can see if it's cross-listed. And I can see if there's any prerequisites, so courses that I have to have taken before I can enroll in this course. And wellness doesn't have any prerequisites, but any thing that does have a prerequisite, it would be listed here. And again, unless that prerequisite is on your Richmond record already, you won't be able to register for the class without an override. So that information is available about all of the classes anytime you click on the subject code. Okay, so that is browsing classes, but the real meat of things is in registration. So I want to come over to register for classes. I can only access this part at 9 a.m. Eastern on the 7th, but I can make my plan anytime before that, and I can browse classes anytime before that. So I come here, I'm going to register for fall 24. And there's different ways I can register. I can find classes, which is the search, like what we've been doing before. And you can search by subject. This is usually best to do after you've tried to register from your plan. And if you still need to find something to round out your schedule, you can enter the search criteria here and find classes that way. So say I know I want to take an Arabic class, and I search for Arabic and 101 because I'm a beginner. I can click add, and it adds it down to my summary below. And if I want to register for it, I click submit. And you can see that I'm registered because that's in green, and it is now on my schedule. If I want to drop that class, say I meant to take something else instead, or I found something that conflicts that I want to take more, I can just come in and click the drop delete course and submit. And that removes it from my schedule. So it's no longer on my schedule summary to the left. So, and you can keep doing that. So that is how you can register from Find Classes. If you know the CRN of the class for which you would like to register, which the CRN is in the column that I'm circling here, and it starts with a 1 for fall classes or a 2 for spring classes, it's going to be a 5-digit number. If you know the CRN of the class for which you would like to register, you can use the Enter CRNs tab, enter the CRN in the blank box, and add as many CRNs as you want. But again, you're only registering for 4 to 4.5 units. And when you click add to summary, it will show up in the summary box in the bottom right corner, and you can click submit to register for that class. Again, that's only if you know the CRN for which you would like to register. The other way you can register, and this should be your first try, is registering from a plan. So this is the plan that I made earlier and Plan Ahead. It has my 3 classes on it, and I can either add one at a time, but for efficiency, I want to add them all to my summary. So I click the Add All, and now they are all down here in my summary block. And when I'm ready to register for them, I will click Submit. And let's see what happens. So I was not registered for art history, and it lets me know why, that there's a time conflict, and it tells me the CRN for which there's a time conflict. If I want to keep my poli-sci class and not take the art class, that's fine. We just remove and submit, and that will go away. And so now I am registered for 3 units plus my well 100. So when I need to find another class to fill out the schedule, again, I can go back to entering CRNs. I can go to find classes to find something to add, or I can browse my options, or I can make another plan or have a second plan if I want to do that. But now I need another class, and say this is my FYS Psychology of Design. I'm not sure if I want to take that, so I want to look at what my FYS options are. I'm going to search again, enter FYS as my subject, and search. And this brings up all of the sections of FYS. There are 56 or 57 sections of FYS for the fall, so you would have to scroll through a lot of pages to get to them all, but they are all listed here. And I can show more per page, but then it would make it harder for me to see my schedule and my summary, so I choose to limit it to 10. But I'm looking for a class, maybe, I'm not sure. Let's see, say this slavery and contemporary imagination looks good to me. It's a time conflict. I can see that. It calls that out to me here. But it's a time conflict with my current FYS, which I'm going to drop anyway. So I can add this to my schedule. Now, I only want to drop my current FYS if I can get into this new FYS. So I click Conditional Add Drop. And that way I won't lose my FYS if my new FYS isn't available for some reason. So click the conditional add drop. And this is good practice no matter what, just to make sure you keep your schedule, especially with FYS, because you do not want to change your FYS if you don't have to. So I click submit, and oh, it couldn't register me for the slavery and contemporary imagination because, let's see, when I hover over it, it says it's a duplicate and it's a time conflict, and it requires, oops, sorry, departmental approval. So because I don't have departmental approval, I can't get in. It did not drop me from my other FYS, which is a good thing. So I just want to remove this because I'm not going to be able to get in that class. But let's see, this sports and religion class, it says it's a time conflict, but it's a time conflict with my other FYS. But I want that more, so I'm going to add that. I'm going to choose to drop my other FYS, but I'm going to do a conditional drop add again, just to make sure that it doesn't drop me if I can't get in the new one. In this case, I was able to get in the new one, so it dropped my old class, and now I'm registered. Finally, I'm still thinking about this class, so I'm going to try another class. This Double Life of Paris looks interesting. I can see that it's full, and it has a wait list and a time conflict, but I'm going to add it to my schedule. And because I'm going to need to swap it out with this other class, I'm going to do another conditional drop add and submit. And again, I'm not registered for this class because it's closed, but there are seats on the wait list. So if I want to put myself on the wait list for the class, I can use the action item drop down, click waitlist, and submit. And now I am waitlisted for Double Life of Paris, but I'm still in my sports and religion FYS. You can put yourself on up to 4 waitlists for a semester. And waitlists, when you come up when your turn comes up on the wait list, you will get an email to your richmond.edu email address. You have 12 hours from the time the email goes out to register for the class. And if you don't register in that 12 hours, you'll need to add yourself back to the bottom of the list if you still want that class. We can't put you back in where you were, but you can add yourself back to the wait list. But that's how you put yourself on a wait list if you would like. And again, you can put yourself on 4. Each wait list is capped at 10 seats because we don't want too many people being on the wait list if you don't have a chance of getting in the class. But each wait list is capped at 10. Not all classes have a wait list. All of your FYSs will have a wait list, and many other classes do, but it's up to the department. So if you don't see a wait list option, that's because the department has chosen not to use the wait list. But again, it's a good idea for classes that you can put yourself on the same class. So say you want different Econ 101s or something like that. You can put yourself on 4 Econ 101 wait lists. That's possible. Or you can put yourself on 4 entirely different classes. That is also possible. So, but again, make sure you're checking your email on a regular basis to see if your 12-hour window comes up for you to register from the wait list. And if that's the case, you'll just come back in here. You would have the drop-down option of adding the class if it was your turn to register, and you can do that and submit, and then you'll be in the class. The wait list does not automatically put you in the class. You have to choose to get in the wait list. And also, we just ask if you no longer want to be on a certain class's wait list, please drop yourself from that so that others may add themselves to the wait list as well. So a couple of other notes about registration. All of the FYS classes are hard capped at 16, so there are no overrides seating capacity wise or otherwise. So you can only, the classes only have 16 people. If a class has a prereq that's not on your transcript, as I said, you need to either get a prereq override from the department or wait till we get your AP scores or whatever it is that has the prereq, and then you can try to register. I do recommend to continuously check back with the schedule if there's something else you're looking out for that's not available at the moment, because other people are dropping and adding and seats might come available. Drop add does go through the first 2 weeks of class. So your registration opens at 9 a.m. on August 7th. It will be open through the first 2 weeks of classes for you to make changes. A lot of classes only are addable during the first 5 days of class, so really try to make any changes by then, but there is fluctuation between now and the end of drop add. And our continuing students get back on the system on the Saturday before classes start, so they too will be dropping and adding, which could open up spots. So just kind of keep an eye on things throughout the drop add registration period. And finally, just a reminder, you do need to take 1 FYS class and 1 Well 100 for the fall. If you are not in both of those classes as of the 21st of August, so that Wednesday, right when orientation starts, we will put you in one and we'll let you know, and it will be on the schedule because you do have to take those classes. So please try to pick one for yourself so that we're not picking for you. And we prefer for you to have a choice in that matter. So that is the quick overview of how to register. This is being recorded, so you can go back and watch it if you'd like, or you can always ask your advisor or my office or the Academic Advising Resource Center if you have questions. And I believe we have some questions in the Q&A. Andrea or Brian and Erica, if we want. I need to have them read to me so that it gets in as part of the recording.
Sure. So our first question came from Ali. He's asking, are there limitations to the classes that I can register for? Basically, if I receive AP credit for a course, can I retake it at Richmond, the same course?
Okay, so most classes are not repeatable for credit. If you got AP credit for something and you want to take it at Richmond, you may do so, but you will then lose the AP credit. So say you got credit for calculus, which is math 211, based on your AP scores, but you're not quite comfortable about going on in math, you can retake math 211 here, but you will at the end of the semester lose the AP credit. So, but otherwise, in terms of restrictions on what you can take, as long as you have the prerequisite or the course does not have a prerequisite, then you can try to register for the class. I will note that most business school classes are restricted to business majors and have prerequisites on them as well. So other than accounting 201 and econ 101 and business administration 202, 203 and 205. Those classes would be open to first-year students without prerequisites, but other classes do have prerequisites. And you cannot declare a major until the beginning of your sophomore year at the earliest, so you will be undeclared throughout your first year here.
We have a few questions about course availability. So some courses only have one seat remaining. Will there be any more seats opening when registration opens?
At this point, we have added all of the seats that the departments have told us to add. So there are not more seats coming, but we monitor throughout registration. And if it looks like there's heavy demand somewhere, we'll talk to departments about caps or additional sections.
If we load plans for registration, is there a way to plan and add drop? So Charlie's asking, is there any way that you can load your plan up to automatically add or drop courses for you?
So it will automatically add classes when you add classes from the plan to your summary and hit submit. That auto loads, but there's no way to set it up to drop a class at the same time unless you physically come in and choose drop from the drop-down menu.
William is asking, do you only pick one section of a class, or do you pick a few that will work with the courses that are already scheduled?
I would recommend picking one section in the plan because it takes time for the system to go through each of the classes, and it will just get you the first one it can, but that might take longer than if you just put one class in at a time, because you are trying for two classes right now, or most of you are trying for two classes at this point.
And I would add to that, Charlie, have with you on a piece of paper a list of backup classes. So those other sections that could work with your schedule. Make a note of the CRNs for those classes, as well as the days and meeting times, so that when you get through the registration system, if Banner tells you that you were not registered for something you wanted, you have at a glance other options that you can then go to enter CRNs, plug in that 5-digit number, and quickly grab a seat in something else that you would like to take.
Just make sure once it gets added to the summary, you always hit submit, because you're not registered until you hit submit and you get the green registered there. And one thing I should mention that some of you, I'm not sure what the questions are, but some of you might have questions about languages. We do have a second language requirement that you have to get through the intermediate level of a language, and there's various ways to do that. You can take a placement test online or when you get here to see if you've placed out. If you've had 3 or 4 years of high school language, that might be worth it for you to do. But then some of our languages, the Italian, French, and Spanish, those are intensive. So each class is actually 2 units because they meet 5 days a week, sometimes twice a day. So if you're taking one of those, either elementary of that level or intermediate, it's going to be 2 units. So that's essentially going to take 2 of your slots on your schedule. And just also be sure to look, because it is meeting a whole lot of days and times a week. So you'll have to work that around the other classes for which you're registered.
Okay, next question, Melanie is asking if they should delete the FYS and fall plans that they've already created for a new plan, or can they just add another plan?
So you can add another plan now if you want to, because before you could only make 2 plans. Now you can make 3 plans. So if you make your 3rd plan, the one from which you want to register, you can do that. That's not a problem. If you want to delete the existing fall or FYS and start over, you can do that too.
Melanie, if you make a 3rd plan and you leave your other 2, I recommend that new plan you mark as preferred so that it jumps to the top of your list, so that on the morning of registration, You aren't wasting valuable seconds scrolling down to find the one you want.
Alice is asking if during registration they can switch from the class that they've been pre-registered for another section of the same course, as she didn't realize that there was different topics for one of the courses.
You can switch if there's openings. I do not recommend trying to switch FYS because there are very few openings across the 56 sections of FYS, and you don't want to be without FYS when you go, when you get here. So if you do try and change your FYS, please use the conditional add drop to do that. But say it's one of the histories like History 199, which is a topics class, you can absolutely drop what we pre-registered you for and try for something else.
Lydia is asking if well 100 is in addition to the total 4 to 4.5 units.
Yes, well 100 is in addition. It's a 0-unit class, so you don't get credit, but you do have to take it.
Okay, Scott is asking if you put courses on a plan and submit on August 7th and everything goes well, does that complete registration?
As long as you have 4 to 4.5 units with an FYS and a well 100, yes, you are done.
All right, Carolina is asking, do labs count as extra units?
Labs do not count as extra units. They are part of the class itself. So a lab science is still 1 unit, just like your FYS or any other class. They might meet at additional times. They will meet at additional times, but they do not carry credit.
Okay,
And
Darian, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, speaking of labs, most of the sciences have the lab embedded with the lecture. So you only need 1 CRN to register for the class. But there are some classes in chemistry. And I know which class number it is, so I'm just searching that. 141, where you need to take a linked lab. So that looks like this. You can see that there is something linked to it. And when you move to the right, you can view the linked, and it tells you which lab class you have to register for to go with your lecture. So chemistry is an exception where you're registering for the lab and lecture as different CRNs, but you do have to register for both of them at the same time in order to get into the class. But it tells you the CRNs you need. Sorry, Brian.
That's okay. Next question is from Darian. Darian's asking, are the seats available updated for planning? So basically, when you create a plan, does that mean you're reserving a spot for registration?
No, putting it on your plan is not reserving it for registration. So there might be multiple other people that also have it on their plan.
Wesley is asking how big a problem it is if you cannot fit a language into your first semester and are languages offered over the summer.
It's not a huge problem if you can't fit a language in. If you're trying to continue from high school, I'd recommend doing it sooner rather than later and not waiting until your senior year here to try and continue a high school language, because you'll probably have forgotten most of it. But you don't have to take it in the fall. And if you're starting a new language, it doesn't matter when you start. We do have some of the languages offered over the summer, particularly French and Spanish and German. And some of those are on summer study abroad programs. So you can go to the country that speaks that language to finish up your language requirement if you'd like.
Okay, Christiana is asking, what does it mean if it says there are a few seats left in the class, but the wait list is full? Is there actually availability in the class?
Thank you for that question. I did meant to mention that, so I appreciate that. No, if there are people on the wait list, then there aren't seats available for you to register. Those seats are the open seats that you might see are being held for the waitlisted people. So.
It looks like John and Melanie both have questions about adding courses from the plan. So the add all function, basically, could you review that again?
Sure. So if I wanted to register from a plan, I'd go into my plan under registration, click add all here. Which, yeah, I've already done, so it's not going to do it. But if I click add all, they will show up down here in my summary block, and I would hit submit. And then it would get what it could for me. Or if I put all these on here, but I only want a couple, I could add them one by one, but we recommend adding all.
Okay, Kalia is asking, can one class count for more than one area of inquiry?
No, each class can only count for one area of inquiry. It can count for an area of inquiry and an integrated focus area, or it could count for two integrated focus areas, but it can only meet one area of inquiry.
Okay, Rebecca's asking if we're already signed up for a section of a class we plan to drop. Can we sign up for the other section first with the rest of the plan and then drop the initial course?
No, the system won't let you register for two of the same classes at once unless it's a repeatable class, like a special topic or something like that. But otherwise, no, you'd have to drop the other one before you could add.
But that's where that conditional comes in handy.
Yes.
Luke is asking, once we're registered, will we get a list of books that need to be ordered for the courses?
Andrea, you might be able to speak to that.
Yeah.
More than I can.
No is the answer. You can go to the bookstore. Their website has a list of textbooks, assuming that your professors have all given the Spider Shop their list of required textbooks. That is not to say you have to buy them from the bookstore. You can buy them from Amazon once you find out what they are. You may also find that your professors could email you after the 7th with maybe a syllabus, introducing themselves, talking about what's required. I also know that some students wait until they get here, take a look at the syllabus, because what may be listed could be suggested versus required. And you can purchase your books from Amazon after you get your syllabus on campus. So answer to your question is no, but there are other ways to get the information.
And Andrea, you might be able to help with the next question as well. And apologies if you already answered this, but Danielle is asking, is there time during orientation to meet with my advisor and finalize my schedule then?
I have not answered this. This is a good question. There will be some time during orientation that the registrar's office and my office will camp out in the commons to answer registration questions. And that will be in your schedule, your orientation schedule. You're welcome to drop in. You will meet with your academic advisor sometime during the first week or first 2 weeks of class as kind of an introduction, but your schedule should really be set before you arrive. So if you have concerns about what happened on the 7th, let's say you didn't get an ideal schedule or you didn't get a full schedule on the 7th, you should be connecting with your summer advisor, who may or may not be the same person that you are assigned to for undeclared advising. Your summer advisor can help you sort out any issues immediately. And if you can't get a hold of your summer advisor, I would ask that you reach out to me in the academic advising office, and we can help you sort out your schedule. Please don't wait until you get to campus.
Kristen, can you demonstrate how to drop a course that you are pre-registered for?
Sure. It's the same as dropping a course that you register yourself for later on. So I'm just going to use the view that we have right now. And if I wanted to drop, say, this government class, I would come over to the action box where it says none and choose drop and submit. And now it's gone from my schedule. So that is how you drop yourself from a class.
And Isis asks, would you recommend adding all of your courses from your plan at the same time, one by one, or is either okay?
I recommend doing an add all. So it's one click to add all, one click to submit, and you're done. But again, you should only be putting 2, max 3 classes on the plan now, not the 20 like you did before, so that it can get you those classes.
Plus your well 100.
Yes, plus your well 100.
Christiana is asking, can you take language courses over the summer at a different college and transfer those credits back to the university?
It is possible to do that. Once you are a student here, if you want to take something and transfer it back, you should get pre-approval for the transfer. There's a form on our website. There's lots of forms on our website, but there is a transfer approval form on our website. So you can check with the department, the corresponding department here, to make sure it's going to transfer back like you expect before you take the class. And then if they approve it, go ahead, take the class, send us your transcript, and then we can put it on your record here for you.
Okay, John is asking if it's a big problem if he cannot take Calc 2 in the first semester.
Calc 2 is not required. There's some majors that require it, but and as a general rule, it's not required in and of itself. So it's not a problem unless you want to go on in math and maybe don't want to lose your high school math before you go into Calc 2. But it's not a required class. We do have a symbolic reasoning requirement, but there's plenty of classes besides calculus that meet that requirement.
And we've had a lot of questions about AP credits and how those come into the university. Can you talk through that process from sending AP scores all the way to getting them on the record?
Sure. So if you didn't list this as a score recipient earlier, or haven't had your scores sent through the College Board website, you can go on collegeboard.org and have your transcripts sent. We're institution 5569. And just have them sent directly to us. And when we get the scores, we will add them to your record within a couple of days when we receive them. And once we do that, you can see them on your transcript or on your grad tracker, and we'll know what it transfers in as, what requirements it meets. On our website, registrar.richmond.edu is the credit by exam policy. So if you know your score and you want to see if it counts for something or what it will count for, you can check there. So, but you'll be able to see it within a couple of days of when we get it, like I say, either on your transcript or on your audit.
Thank you.
Same with IB figures, by the way.
We did have a question come through asking if they can make a plan ahead of time prior to the 7th. And then just go in and add all. And that is what is recommended. Please make your plan prior to August 7th so that when registration opens at 9 a.m., you just need to go in and click the add all button.
And you do want to be in the system a little before 9 so that at 9 exactly you can do your registration.
Sydney is asking if they're choosing that chemistry course that has a linked lab, does the linked course automatically get added when they click on the regular section?
No, you have to add that separately.
Okay, Julia is asking if I did not get a class that I put on my fall pre-registration plan, does that mean the class is full and I cannot try to register for it?
It depends. If you weren't in priority registration, it just picked one class from your plan, hopefully going in the order you put them on the plan. But people are going to be changing, so it's worth trying for it if you didn't get your number one choice or something like that. You're not precluded from trying to register yourself.
And if you receive priority registration, is registration open at 9 a.m. on the 7th for you as well?
Yes, it does.
And currently the last question we have is, what does the restriction under the class status mean when you're looking at courses?
The restriction under the class status.
Yeah, so if you're scrolling through looking at sections of courses and it says restriction with an exclamation point next to it.
Oh, in that case, I would click on the course title and come to restrictions, and it will tell you what the restriction is. Andrea, would you like me to stop sharing so you can share your last little bit?
Sure. Okay, still have a few minutes for questions, but while you are thinking, let me just put a few reminders out there. First of all, use that conditional add drop feature when making any changes to your schedule. It is the best insurance policy against dropping and losing a seat before securing a new seat. We don't recommend you swap out your FYS. It is more likely that you will be adding yourself to wait lists for FYS. Again, if you decide to try it, use that conditional add drop before you proceed. Don't forget to register for Well 100. Set your alarm for August 7th and don't miss the start time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Seconds count. There will be 600-ish of you in the system at the same time. So you do not want to miss out on the first 15 minutes of registration. Ms. Ball mentioned you can put yourself on up to 4 wait lists. And if you have any questions, whether it's during this planning phase for self-registration or on the day of registration or after registration, know that you can always email your summer advisor or advising@richmond.edu. Any other questions, Brian? Doesn't appear.
Sorry, we do have one more
Oh.
question that came through.
Yeah.
Alicia is asking, do you know how quickly we'll have access to our syllabi after registration?
No, that's a good question. I think you can count on first day of class.
Mhm.
It is rare that a professor will email you ahead of time. I threw that as an example earlier, but most of your professors are going to save that for the very first day.
And can you review, Kristen, where to find the conditional add drop feature?
Yes. Let me go back. Okay, so when you are in registration, conditional add drop is in the bottom right corner of your summary, and you just want to click that button when you have added the class you want down here, and you have put drop by whatever class it is that you're conditionally dropping. But this is the checkbox you want to make sure you use.
Yeah, I think the key to the conditional is it's remembering that there are 3 parts to this. You're going to add, you're going to drop, and you're going to click that conditional box. All 3 things need to happen before you hit submit. Okay, that appears to be it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to the registrar's office for all of this information. Again, if you have questions, please email me at advising@richmond.edu, and we are really looking forward to having you on campus soon. Best of luck on August 7th. And oh, last question. And yes, will we be sharing this video? We will post the recording on the New Spiders website. So check back, watch it again as many times as you need. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.